I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week, kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
The Golden Goose is finally on the verge of returning, and the entire basketball community is on edge. After weeks of silence and speculation, Caitlin Clark's injury status has officially been upgraded to a game-time decision, sending shockwaves across the WNBA. Indiana's franchise star, the league's top ratings driver, and the single most influential figure in women's basketball is preparing to lace up once again.
Caitlin effing Clark is a game-time decision. She is a game-time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she's listed as questionable. But she is a game-time decision, apparently. Look, if we're going to be honest, no, she's a game.
Clark's return isn't just about a player coming back from injury. It's about reviving the heartbeat of an entire league. Without her, the WNBA has looked lost, with ratings free-falling like a stone. But her comeback is a cavalry charge the league has been waiting for, and everyone knows their paychecks and relevance are tied to what she does next.
Clark may be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots around.
Here's the harsh truth no one likes to say out loud. Before Clark's groin injury on July 15th, Indiana Fever games averaged 1.81 million viewers. Once she went down, those numbers nosedived to 847,000. That's a 53% collapse. Proof that her absence slammed into the league like a freight train carrying nothing but reality checks.
Argue this intelligently. No one person means as much to their league, whatever league it is, as Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA. And no person has done more for their league than what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Patrick Mahomes does not mean that much to the NFL. Steph Curry does not mean that much to the NBA. LeBron James does not mean that much to the NBA. She is a monster. When we look back on this, Caitlin Clark will be for the WNBA what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were.
And it's not just Indiana that suffered. Across the entire league, national WNBA viewership cratered by 55%, while Clark was sidelined. Think about that. Over half the audience disappeared because one player couldn't suit up. That isn't just influence. That's economic dependency at a level that would make corporate executives lose sleep.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
The ticket market told the same painful story. With Clark in the lineup, Fever tickets averaged $137. Without her, they fell to $80. When Indiana faced Chicago without Clark and Angel Reese, prices collapsed from $86 to just $25. Even premium matchups weren't spared. Tickets that had reached $210 dropped to $95, and cheap seats slid from $86 to $25. Teams banking on Clark's star power to fill bigger arenas were left scrambling. The Washington Mystics even shifted a game to Baltimore, expecting a Clark bump, only to watch tickets free fall from $41 to $14 after she was ruled out.
Sky tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the W.
Sports economist Ryan Brewer estimated Clark's financial impact could top $1 billion this season. And that's not hype. It's merchandise, tourism, TV deals, and every ripple effect of being a cultural force beyond basketball. For Indiana alone, her presence was valued at roughly $340 million, instantly turning the Fever from a mid-tier organization into the league's crown jewel. The ripple effects reach far beyond Indianapolis.
On the verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because of somebody.
On the road, Clark changes everything. Ticket prices spike by 140%, with resale averages climbing to $312. All 10 of StubHub's top-selling WNBA games this season involved the Fever. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% jump in WNBA gear sales, while Fanatics saw overall WNBA merchandise purchases skyrocket more than 500%. Clark herself ranks among the top 20 athletes in merchandise sales across all sports, and sixth in basketball, ahead of many NBA stars. Her Nike deal is worth $28 million over 8 years, dwarfing her $76,535 league salary and highlighting just how underpaid she is compared to her actual value.
Caitlin Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27% of the...
Clark's return also comes at a time when the Fever have been fighting through chaos. Both backup point guards, Ari McDonald and Sidney Carlson, went down with season-ending injuries on August 7th, forcing the team to sign veteran Odyssey Sims on a hardship deal. Despite this, Indiana held steady, going 6-4 in their last 10 games, including a commanding 92-70 win over Chicago while dressing just 9 players. Kelsey Mitchell thrived as a temporary point guard, dropping 26 points and 8 assists with only 1 turnover. Aaliyah Boston has been playing at video game levels, hitting 78% from the field over a 4-game stretch. But deep down, everyone knows it's temporary. The Fever can stay afloat without Clark, but they can't dominate or drive the kind of numbers that make them championship contenders. Even Sophie Cunningham admitted, "We look like a completely different team with her versus without her."
If you're wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA. 2014 All-Rookie Team. She's had some good seasons in here, folks. No, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back...
Clark recently opened up about the weight she carries during an appearance on Sue Bird's podcast. She admitted feeling the crushing responsibility of knowing attendance and viewership collapse when she's unavailable. This isn't just about basketball. It's about livelihood, jobs, and the future of women's sports riding on her health. Her mom's recent text summed it up. "You've given so much to everyone else. You need to take time for yourself now." Clark explained the challenge of returning without a training camp to ease back in. Instead, she's expected to jump straight into Game 30 and perform at an elite level, all while managing the unpredictability of a soft tissue injury and knowing every absence means millions lost.
Active, and playing 4 games and then not, and like not feeling the best, and then like frustrated of like how hard I worked in the off season, and then like all I do is rehab and like continue to do this process, and just like trying to trust that the best I can. And obviously there's really frustrating days, and there's days where like it's a little bit easier and like you're very, very motivated and like you're right at close to the finish line of getting back and being back. And then like, it's not like I have a training camp to like build up to like playing my first game again. It's like, no, like you're tossed into game 30, like go try to play well. Like it's hard. Like,
When Clark steps back on the floor, likely very soon, expect chaos. Her return will almost certainly become one of the most watched regular season WNBA games ever. The last time she came back, against New York on June 14th, the matchup peaked at 2.8 million viewers, ranking as ESPN's third most watched WNBA broadcast of all time. Even with Clark missing 19 of 32 games this season, WNBA viewership is still up 21% from 2024. Non-fever games are up 37%, showing the league is broadening its fan base. But everyone knows the real explosion happens once Clark is fully back. The timing is perfect. Indiana is 18-14 in fifth place and pushing for the postseason. They've proven they can compete even without her, but now, with their star, they're ready to chase something bigger.
Caitlin Clark just helped deliver a major statement win. On Saturday, June 14, Caitlin Clark returned to the court for the Indiana Fever after missing 5 games due to a quad injury. The Indiana Fever handed the New York Liberty their first loss of the season, and Caitlin Clark was at the center of it. She made a return with force, leading the charge on both ends of the floor, and she came back in dominant fashion, putting up 32 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. Just shy of a 30-point triple-double in a 102-88 win over the New York Liberty. Now, even NBA's own LeBron James took notice, posting the CC effect.
The business side of Clark's return is massive. ESPN's WNBA numbers actually dipped slightly before her debut last year, then surged once she was active. Games featuring Clark now average 1.3 million viewers, up 7% from an already solid baseline. Flora Kelly, ESPN's VP of Research, praised her as a generational talent, but also pointed out that the league is growing beyond her games. Still, 21 to 24 WNBA broadcasts that cleared 1 million viewers last season feature Clark. That momentum feeds directly into the league's upcoming $2.2 billion media rights deal with ESPN and NBC in 2026, with both networks betting big on Clark's drawing power. Teams have already changed strategy, moving games into bigger arenas whenever Clark's in town. Even her preseason exhibition in Iowa became her priciest ticket ever, reselling for over $1,750.
Caitlin Clark continues to crush the viewership department and bring in those big ratings. This is from ESPN PR. This past Sunday, ABC aired another of its most watched WNBA games ever with the Indiana Fever's win over the Dallas Wings. It averaged 2.1 million viewers and peaked at 2.5 million viewers. WNBA on ESPN is up 7% from last season, man. What? The numbers are crazy. The numbers are crazy. She's a draw.
For Indiana, Clark's return is more than just good timing. It's urgent. With back-to-back number 1 picks in Boston and Clark, the Fever's championship window is now. The WNBA salary cap and parity system make long-term dominance nearly impossible. That's why the front office loaded up this offseason with veterans like Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Dana Bonner, because they know Clark's rookie contract years are the prime window to strike. Clark herself set the tone before the season, saying, "My expectation is to win a championship." That wasn't just confidence. It was intent. Early blowouts, like their 93 of 58 rout of Chicago, where Clark recorded a triple-double, and tight battles with the defending champion New York Liberty, proved Indiana belongs in the title conversation.
2.1 million average viewers to watch the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark, take on the Dallas Wings. ABC airs another of its most watched WNBA games ever. WNBA games ever. Ever. Ever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. ABC's fourth most watched WNBA game ever. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. More than 120 regular season and postseason games. This is more than most WNBA finals games, including last